Hey everyone, it's me, the one and only the Sparkle Girl, or Caitlin Sparkle. So today, this is something that you may not going to expect because I am going to review on some of the Disney movies, but I might as well share you guys some of the that I do like as my favorite, and some of them that may not be my favorite. But it's okay if it sometimes they can be of a mixed bag sometimes. So you get what I mean, you know what I mean. So that's the important really sometimes. Because sometimes just because you don't like things, it doesn't mean you have to say you don't like them or just keep it to yourself because I learned it from my parents, so that's the whole point. So, so the whole point is if you don't like whatever and you like them, just say both. If you have the sort of mixed feelings on whether which one. So, you know. So, I would like to start with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the very first Disney movie, of course. But let's just say it's not really the very first Disney movie, if I'm not mistaken, because let's just say the first Disney movie that I've ever created, and it was in black and white, and it's called Steamboat Willie, which is actually features our favorite Disney mouse, Mickey Mouse, and including Minnie Mouse. So yes, so let's just say, so that's the whole thing, because I believe that's the very first Disney movie, but it's a short film though. But the very first Disney movie in colour is definitely Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So yeah, so let's just say well, I sometimes love the film, but it's just so interesting, and and although it did came out sometimes during the World War II, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so anyway, because that's how I remember it. And yes, and of course, Snow White is my favorite princess, although I prefer Ariel most of the time, but Snow White is just one of my favorites. So let's just say it's hard to pick on which Disney princess to like most of the time because I'm just a huge fan of Disney princesses, so can't possibly blame me for that. So yeah, I just find it really good, the film, and especially the witch. Well, I mean, the queen, the stepmother of Snow White. I don't like her much because the way she's so obsessed about Snow White being the pretty one. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. People can be pretty. Just because they're pretty, it doesn't mean they are prettier than you. You can be pretty in your own way, so don't let anyone get it into your own way. And don't be such a critical about it. Just accept that people can be pretty and not just yourself, because everyone can be prettier than you think. So, and let's not go into the argument about that, because sometimes I have heard some few people can complaining about some people can be more prettier than them. So, you can't possibly blame them. Okay, skip over. So let's talk about Pinocchio. Um, I'm not too sure. It's alright to be fair, but I'm not really much a fan of it, but like I said, okay. I don't mind the fairy. And Jiminy Cricket, he's alright too. He can be a bit bossy, and and I know he's tried to warn Pinocchio a few times. I mean, and I do know he's only doing it like I know he means well, but sometimes Jiminy Cricket can be way too far sometimes, especially Pinocchio himself. Yeah. And especially Pinocchio's father, Geppetto. Yeah, tell me about it. And especially at the end of the film, well, I kind of find it a bit scary when I was a kid. It doesn't scare me right now, but I did used to find it like, whoa, shock, creepy. Tell you about it, okay? Fantasia, well, not really much a fan of it, although, well, it's nothing awesome about it, from my personal opinion. And I'm sorry if those of you who are a fan or just like the film, and I'm sorry if I supportive of you guys, but you have to sometimes just need to accept that people can have different opinion on things. So for my personal opinion on Fantasia, I just find it not so good because it just well, it's hard to explain because it's complicated because it's just music, background music, no talking, so like that's just music. I mean, okay, skip that one. Okay, the Dumbo. Dumbo is my favorite, to be fair. And besides, I feel sorry for Dumbo because those other elephants and those kids and all that, and the other animals were treating him badly just because his ears. I mean, that's not even nice at all. Treating like he's different to his own kind. That is so not nice, and it's cruelty and abusing. Seriously. I mean, Dumbo, although his real name is actually Jumbo, but those horrible lot just call him Dumbo. I mean, tell me about it. Give me a break. Sometimes I feel like I want to transport myself into that movie and show them who's boss. I mean, come on, you guys. How would you feel if it was Dumbo who calls you Dumbo? Okay, something like that. I mean, seriously. And that scene where you see the pink elephants. I know some of you may find it scary when you were kids or something like that, but for me, I don't find it scary. I'm fine with it. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. Well, sometimes it can be a big deal for some people, but for me, nah. But it's the same thing for my best friend Sophie, because me and Sophie don't always agree on things. And sometimes we do agree on things. It kind of depends on whatever. Yeah. And, okay, so here's Bambi. Oh, you just got to love Bambi. I just love it. I annoy him. Not like a crush thing or anything, but I do find him adorable and cute, little dear. And I sometimes like he was real so I can stroke him, little bear. Such a cute little deer. Because he's a deer. You know, get it? A deer is a deer. Okay, skip that one. Okay. So there's another one, and it's called The Adventures of Archibald and Mr. Toad. I don't. Well, I'll just say I've never watched it. To be fair, if I have to be honest with you guys, but I have heard some people saying it's quite scary for some people, and I would agree with them because I don't like the headless horse because that reminds me of something I didn't like when I was younger. Godfather, and I don't want to talk about it because it's something that you know don't want to look at Google because I kind of accidentally told Sophie and she kind of Googled it and I was like, oh geez, Sophie. Well, it's not that I'm blaming her or anything, but it did give me the jump. But I did accept to promise not to do it again because, well, it's over now, and it was in the past, but me and Sophie kind of grew out of it. So, but she does support me, you know. Whoa. And I kindly suggest you guys to not watch that film. It's okay if those of you who want to, but personally, I kind of find it scary for me. Because if I were you, I'd rather not watch it if you don't like scary movies. So yeah, so keep away. Okay, skip that. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, Cinderella. Cinderella is one of my favorite Disney movies of all times. Yeah, tell me about it. I just love it. Especially the transformation where Cinderella just transformed into a beautiful, silvery white dress. I know some of you may say her dress is actually blue, but to tell you this, sorry to disappoint your bubbles, but her dress is actually just white, but glitter all over it. And I'm sorry for saying it, but it's true. And I know some of you may going to deny it, but you just have to accept that Cinderella's dress is definitely white with a bit of silver, something like that. So I don't blame you guys because I do find it a bit blue. It kind of depends on the quality of the animation, because back in the 50s, the quality is quite different compared to the quality that we have now. If you think about it, when you're watching it on Disney Plus or DVD, something like that, like the Blu-ray DVD or something like that. Tell me about it, but it's harder to explain. But if you don't believe me, find out yourself on Google. Okay, and it's Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I just love it because it's like, okay, so can I just be honest? I may not be a huge fan of Peter Pan at times, but it's alright to be fair. But I kind of prefer Alice in Wonderland over Peter Pan because it's just more adventure, curious. Yes. And the way Alice is curious about everything. Like, curious. Ooh, or something like that. Because she always liked to pick her nose in, so you can't possibly blame her. And especially the scene where she fell in the hole, which takes it to the Wonderland. And I was like, oh my God, Alice, how are you lost? Oh boy. Okay, so like I said about Peter Pan, I may not be a huge fan of it, but it's alright to be fair. But there are some few things I do like about Peter Pan, like Wendy Darlings and all kinds, especially Tinkerbell, which I might talk about Tinkerbell in any minutes sometimes next. Okay, so Lady Tramp, yep, I love that one because it's I think it's either France or Italian because the way they go like Belle Notte. I kind of find that song adorable because it's just a romantic sort of way. Like imagine you and either your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever are having a date and you imagine having that song as your date sort of music, and you can sometimes just pretend that you're eating spaghetti, something like that. Don't get me wrong, I do love the taste of spaghetti and meatballs. Yummy. Ooh, delicious. Okay, I am coming down, but Sophie, I know you're giggling. I just knew it. Alright, I am coming down now. Okay, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, I love that film as well. Although Maleficent can be scary, especially when she turns into a dragon. I used to get scared of her when she was a dragon when I was a kid, but not anymore. But it does remind me when I'm all grown up right now. So yeah. Okay, well, especially that scene when, Maleficent just literally just hypnotized Aurora and then just put Aurora into some sort of trance and took her in somewhere in the Forbidden Tower and then pricked her finger on a spindle. Oh my God. I would imagine that would happen to me because if that ever happened to me, I'll be, okay, I am calm. Okay, because I don't like, you know the word that begins with a B, which I don't want to mention. Shut my mouth. Okay, I'm back. So, okay, here we go. There's 101 Dalmatians. I like it, but I don't really intentionally to love it or anything. But it is alright to be fair, because it's just so interesting, especially Cruella de Vil. Well, I might as well just say the word love it because I know I just said that I may like it, but sometimes I got this sort of mixed feelings for it though, you get what I mean. Like I told you guys from the beginning from my video about recording. Sword in the Stone. Ugh. I hate it when my dad keeps going on about it. Every time when he sees it or something like that, or he just keeps on pointing it to me, I was like, oh, okay, alright, that's it. I'm out of here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, it's not that I don't like it. I just find it annoying about the fact that my dad keeps going on about it, and I was like, can you please just stop it? Okay, calm down, Ken Sparkle. Okay, so here we go. Jungle Book, or Jungle Book, whatever you guys refer it as. Okay, so I believe that just came out on my dad's birthday in 1967. And I was like, what the bleeping hell? I mean, Disney? What the Disney? Alright, I'm over it. Alright. Although I'm not really much a fan of Jungle Book as much, especially the sequel for it. It was, well, both of them can be alright. But what I don't like about it is Carl the Snake and Shere Khan. They're so annoying. They're so creepy. And the way Carl just hypnotized Mowgli every time, I was like, ugh, give me a break, dude. You make me go all cringy. No. Okay. So let's just say, I remembered another film that comes after Jungle Book, and it's called The Aristocats. Yeah, The Aristocats. Well, I remember so well. I just even though that did came out sometimes just before my mom was born, because she was born in 1971. But I don't want to go through the details. Yeah, and I do like Marie. Yeah, because she's cute. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, and I also remember Robin Hood. Well, he's okay, but not a fan of him or the film itself. And yes, of course, there's Winnie the Pooh. Well, there's a film called The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Well, I never watched it, but I think I did kind of watched it as a kid, but I barely remember it now because it was a long time ago. And I may not be a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh as I did used to when I was a baby, and because I did used to have Winnie the Pooh as my bedroom when I was a baby. You know, where I used to be in the crib with that little Winnie the Pooh as a mobile, so I can watch it. Oh, like somewhere, somewhere in the top, so I can watch it. Spins around. Okay. I remember the Rescuers. Yeah, tell me about it. I do like it. Yeah, but I don't like the Medusa in it because she's such a. I think she's more than just a villain. I think she's more sort of like a character who's obsessed with the diamond. I mean, is she sort of like a spoiled rich woman or something? Because all she ever cares is herself and getting the diamond. And and I still can't believe over the fact that she kidnapped the poor little Penny. Oh, poor Penny. She doesn't deserve it. She's only a kid. What kind of woman do that such a thing to a poor young innocent little girl? So yeah, okay. And this Fox and the Hound. I love that film so much. So good. Yeah, I definitely do like Fox and the Hound because let's just say I just find it adorable about the friendship. And yes, of course, I do like Todd and Cooper because they're just so cute together, especially, being best friends. Although I do also kind of ship Todd with Dixie. Yes, something like that. And yes, I don't really like the beginning, if I have to be honest with you guys, because the way that they just kill Todd's mother off the screen, like, just like that. I mean, poor Todd lost his mom, all grown up without a parent. I felt sorry for him. But don't worry, it's not that I'm sad, but I do feel sad for Todd, you know? Okay. And there's the Black Cauldron. Yeah, I'm not really much a fan of it because I believe it's kind of scary, so I'd rather not watch it in case, Well, actually, second thought, which reminds me, I did kind of watched it only like once before. It was, well, it was alright to be fair. It's just the problem is that the villain, the king, whatever he called himself, he's creepy. Like, the good boy. Like, ooh, I'm so gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Thriller. Michael Jackson. I know, but tell me about it. I just don't really like scary stuff, if I have to be honest with you guys. It's just not my thing. And I'm easily sensitive about it. And I do normally get nightmares. Yeah. Okay, there's a great mouse detector. Wow. Can I just be honest? I love that film. It's just so, what's the word? Detective. Because the case about, Basil, I think his name is, and he's sort of, you think about it like Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, tell me about it. I just like it because it's just so interesting. When Basil and this other guy, forgot his name, and the dog. I know the dog's name, but I keep forget. So yeah. But I just remember that they all went on the adventure to save Olivia's father, who got kidnapped by this villain. I know his name's something Rats, and then something else I can't figure out myself sometimes because it's hard to memorize it rather than search it, Okay, so tell me about it. I also I love this other film, and it's called Oliver and Company. Yeah, it is kind of cute, to be fair, because Oliver, the cat. Oh, I just love cute kitty cats. Like cat's little purr. Oh, so cute and fluffy. I did used to have cats. Sadly, I don't have them anymore. Because the thing is, guys, all of them are dead. Except for Fudge. Because I remember this one time back in 2015, the moment, only just few weeks after we moved to a different house, Fudge ran away and I was really upset. I was crying and I was like, Fudge, come back. I was really upset. So yeah, so you can't possibly blame me for it. That's just where I am. I do miss him a lot, and I do often think about him. Yeah, and every time I watch Oliver and Company, it does remind me of Fudge most of the time because he's still alive somewhere. But sadly, he won't be lost forever because he will die very soon in the future. But I don't want to think about it like that, because I know it will happen, but I just don't want to think it, Okay, move on. Okay, The Little Mermaid. Yeah, my most Disney movie ever. I know you guys were gonna say, "Oh, that's your favorite Disney movie, Kay and Sparkle." I know you're gonna say that because I know some people probably will, but some of you may want to place. Okay, let's just say it is kind of obvious because I did have my own video of the review about the film as a media and the characters and all kinds, especially Ariel, who's my favorite Disney princess. Yeah, tell me about it. I just love the song Part of Your World. I just love every moment of the film. The first film. And of course the live action is okay. I still love the live action, but I just still stick with the original. Because, like I said, Ariel is still my favorite no matter who plays her, no matter what. And I know there's a lot of people out there some of maybe haters out there who probably still in denial about something to do with Halle Bailey as Ariel, something like that. But I just feel even though I'm not the only one, but I do sometimes feel like I want to say to those horrible people who are disrespecting to Halle Bailey, just stop going on about it. Stop yappies, something like that, and just get over it. Just accept it. like, deal with it and move on. I don't know why they're still going on about it. I mean, tell me about it. So, I don't mind Halle Bailey as Ariel, as long as everyone knows that Halle Bailey does have a great talent. And I like Halle Bailey anyway, because she's great. Yeah, tell me about it. And there's a sequel for the Rescuers called The Rescuers Down Under. It's alright to be fair, but I have watched it before when I was a kid, but I haven't been watching it for a long time since then, when I was a kid and that. But yeah. And here comes Beauty and the Beast. Potatoes all this time. Okay, give me a break. I know, I'm not really singing, but I'm just using this for example. Because, have you guys heard? The original actress who did Mrs. Potts passed away last year. Oh my god. I feel so sorry for her. You know, she's the best Mrs. Potts. And I know Emma Thompson, who also plays Mrs. Potts in the live action. But, have you guys heard that both the original actress who did Mrs. Potts, and from the original one, and the Mrs. Potts from the live action, both of them are actually in this one film back in the early 2000s called Nanny McPhee. And I was like, what? Come on. Okay, please. How many Disney stars do we all know? Tell me about it, because sometimes you can't always expect some of the films to have different actors or whatever sometimes, because sometimes some films might want the same actress in it, Tell me about. Okay. And there's Aladdin. I just love it. I love it. Yeah, tell me about it. Because it's harder to tell sometimes because I just really love it. But I might as well make a review about Aladdin at some point in the future. Same thing for Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and some others. Okay. And there's The Lion King. Oh, love it. And I know a friend of mine who seems to be a huge fan of The Lion King, but he's not the only one. I love The Lion King. Let's just say I've always have loved it ever since I was a kid. Senpai, he just makes my heart melt. Yeah. Okay. Especially that song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Oh, and tell me about it. Combat and Timon like crying like, I mean, come on boys. Can you please stop being such a big baby? But don't blame me or don't get me wrong. I still like Timon and Pumbaa because they make me laugh. Yeah. Okay. And there's Pocahontas. I love that film so much. Colors of the Wind or Just Around the River Bend. Yeah. And there's Toy Story is alright. I have this sort of mixed feeling sometimes. Although I can like the second one and the third one the most out of the other movies. The first one's alright. It's just I'm not really. I don't like the way Woody and Buzz not like each other at first, Well, especially mostly to Woody though, because the way he's been like complaining about Buzz just being himself and that, I mean, come on, Woody, chillax, dude. Just leave Buzz be, because Buzz is just being Buzz, like Spanish mode, like what's the Sapio Bleu? What's that? Hola, ¿cómo está? Or was it? Oh, au revoir. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I may not be a fan of it, but it is alright. The only thing I have is sort of mixed feelings for the film. It's only because, I like the animation and the story, but there are some few things in the film itself, some bits of the story, it's just not feel right. About people treating those, what do they call themselves again? Egyptians or something? I can't figure it out now, but I just remember this villain, whatever his name is, the way he treats those poor innocent people. It's just not nice, and it's racist. I know. Tell me about it. Okay, and there's Hercules. I like it, and sometimes I don't like it because I don't like Hades because, well, I think he needs to chill out. Like, calm down, dude. You're acting just like the beast. Like, calm down, like for Disney's sake. Like, come on, Hades. Go to the naughty corner and chill out. Or buzz off to the world of devils. Okay, and there's Mulan. Oh, I love that film so much. I love it. Especially the reflection song. Mulan as a character. I just love it. She just inspired me somehow. But I know I'm not the only one who can be inspired by Mulan. Because, well, don't get me wrong, there are loads of other characters who do seem to inspire me a lot sometimes, like Ariel, for example, and some others. But Mulan, she inspired me to be myself, Like, stand up for yourself, prove people that you can capable of doing what you're doing, and prove yourself that you can do what you can do. Because it's not that hard. Books Life, I can't possibly forget about that. I mean, let's just say I have watched it as a kid, like a long time before, on the VHS. Sadly, I haven't been watching it for a long time since then. But I might as well watch it again because since I'm all grown up, I might as well watch it because it's part of my nostalgia. It's Tarzan. I love the film so much. Oh my god, it's just so sort of like heartwarming, as in it's just the way it plays and now the story, the animation, all kinds just make my heart like I'm part of it as well sometimes. Because let's just say Tarzan is somehow special to me, and I know it's special to some of you guys too. Yeah. And I do like Tarzan's and Jane's relationship there in the film. Yeah. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Well, let's just say it is my favorite to be fair, because it's a Christmas movie. Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong, I kind of love it as I love the Beauty and the Beast and China Christmas. So yeah. So that's the whole point really, because I do love Christmas just like everyone else around the world. And to be fair, I was definitely gonna say there are some few things that I never liked in a film was where Donald Duck was a bit too harsh on the voice. I know he means well, but sometimes kids do need to be told sometimes if they ever gone too far or something. So you can't possibly blame Donald for it. But sometimes we just have to respect Donald's whatever his issue or problem is. But until he realized after, when Daisy told him that he has been a bit too harsh after the way he yells at them at the dinner table or something. Yeah, but yeah, tell me about it, guys. But it is my personal opinion, and yes, well, to believe so, I kind of feel sorry for the boys because just because they're having fun, it doesn't mean you hesitate to yell at them just because you think they are in, out of chaos or something. So if you have kids of your own, always be careful of what you think about your kids because sometimes you're just gonna hit the feelings as they hit yours. Because you wouldn't imagine hitting your own child's feelings now, would you? And if you are a parent or something, don't let your feelings get to you sometimes because it's harder to get my words straight sometimes, but sometimes you should always be careful of what you have to say or feel or you think or whatever. Always think about your children. Well, child, where you guys refer it to. And yes, I know I should have mentioned Beauty and the Beast and China Christmas sometimes before this, but I'd like to say that I love Beauty and the Beast and China Christmas. It's just one of those things to like when it comes to Christmas. And and of course, I do watch it like all the time, every year around December, or maybe sometimes from early November until January, something like that. So anyway, I don't really like the Beast's behavior in the film, but even though he has been got mutilated by, Forte, that villain guy, the piano, wherever you guys know him as, but I'm just saying, I don't really like Forte much because the way he mutilated the Beast to believe that Bells is taking over the kingdom. But no, that is not Belle's true intentions. Belle's true intention is saving Christmas. And that's what Belle's been doing the whole time. I mean, seriously, Forte, what kind of friend are you? You're supposed to be the best friend, not some sort of witch or whatever, because, oh boy. Okay, let's move on. And remember Fantasia 2000? Same with the original. Dinosaur, yeah, I love that one. Haven't been watching that. Well, same thing for Bugs Life. Haven't been watching that for years. I might as well watch it again. And there's Little Mermaid 2, and of course I do love it. The Empire's New Groove. I don't know, but it's okay to be fair. But I don't like whatever his name, the Empire Prince. I don't really like that guy much because the way he behaves in the first film. I mean, what a jerk. Well, that's just his personality, so don't get too jump to conclusions or not get too offensive about it or being defensive about it either, okay? Thank you. And there's Monster Inc. I love it. Well, don't get me wrong, every time as a kid, I always found the beginning of the film scary. I mean, seriously, you wouldn't imagine how I felt that way as a kid because I did used to get nightmares after watching those eyes from underneath that bed in Monster Inc. And I was like, oh my god, jeez, man. I mean, seriously, you can't blame me, but that's just a thing. I mean, seriously, guys, I'm telling you. Until the funny moment just about to go on. But don't get me wrong, I had sort of mixed feelings, like I was scared just for the first moment until I was like laughing my head off. Oh my god. All that screaming, like, calm down, dude. Stop screaming. Like every time. I always just find it funny. Kill me already. With all that funny business. And of course, I do like Mike's and Sully's friendship in the film. And the way they were doing this sort of business about, trying to get Boo back to her home. We just keeps fail every time until the very end. Yeah, tell me about that, guys. Atlantis, the Lost Empire. I'm not really much a fan of it, but it's alright to be fair. But I have seen it before when I was a kid, but I'd rather not watch it again because, like I said, not my thing. Oh, Lilo and Stitch, my favourite. My favourite along with The Little Mermaid. Let's just say, I just watch The Little Mermaid and Lilo and Stitch the most when it comes to Disney. And yes, after Lilo and Stitch, there's Treasure Planet. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it, but I have seen bits of it before on YouTube. When I first saw it on YouTube, I was like, nah, not my thing. Finding Nemo, I had to say I love it so much. I never forget that movie. Every time I watched it, the music just gives me nostalgia vibes. And I'm telling you guys now, I never stop repeating every moment of this whole movie because it just makes me feel like emotional at times. The music just makes me feel like being a kid again. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. But don't get me wrong, I know I'm not the only one. But I'm telling you guys now, I just want to be honest. I'm just a huge fan of it. Yeah, tell me about it. The Incredibles? Yeah, I like that film. And I also like the sequel to it. But I mostly stick with this first one, I would say, because it's more the original. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, speaking about sequels, I'd rather keep the sequels as a part 2 from now on, okay? Cause, well, okay, just before I could say it, but I don't want to hurt you guys' feelings, but I don't like Cars much, even though I never watched them, but personally, I don't want to watch them because, like I said, I don't think it's my thing, because it's like, well, I don't know. Like I say, it's complicated, and I don't want to keep on talk about it because otherwise I may end up hurting your feelings even more. So let's not try and get too offensive or defensive about it, okay? And there's Brother Bear. I love it. Catchy. And that nearly reminds me of Tarzan because Bill Collins in it because he sings the songs. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, now let's go on to Home on the Range. Well, if I had to be honest with you guys, I'd never seen that film before, but I'm not too sure on whether to watch it or not because it's just something that I'm not. It's complicated, but I just don't think it will be my thing. But I might give it a little try to see if I like it or not. So if I do, I'll let you guys know. And yes, I've seen Chicken Little because I've seen it before when I was like a young kid. I think I did somehow have it on the DVD or something. I barely remembered. Actually, okay. I think I remember now. I don't think I got it on DVD. I think I remember watching it on someone else's DVD when I was in high school once. So yeah, I think, but I have seen it as a kid somehow before I watched it again or growing up in high school. So if you get what I mean, something like that. But I also seem to remember these trailers, but I haven't seen the actual films. You know, these dogs, and they have their own movies, and some of the movies are called Snow Bodies, Space Bodies, Santa Bodies, something like that. I just remember it, like, I just remember seeing the trailer of them somewhat times before I was a kid, and I thought I might give it a go, see if I like it. I think I would definitely like it because it's so interesting. And besides, I love dogs. I adore them. Did you just say friendly? Oh, give me a hug. Tell me about it. I know some of you guys would probably will say the same thing if you love dogs as I do. Yeah. Okay. And I also want to mention about High School Musical and its sequel and prequel. Yeah, I just like three of them. Yeah. And I sometimes don't mind Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, but I would just stick with the High School Musical rather than Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure because it's not the same as the other characters that we all know and love. Yeah, tell me about it. Meet the Robinsons, I would definitely say I kind of sometimes I like it. And sometimes there are a few things I don't like in the movie, but it's complicated to talk about, so I'd rather skip that one for now. Okay, I like Ratatouille. Love it. Makes me feel hungry. Ooh, every time I watch it. And I also seem to remember this movie, but I'm not sure if anyone else have ever seen it before. It's okay if you have, and it's okay if you didn't. That's totally okay, because I remember seeing this film, and it's called Bridge to Terabithia. Well, it's complicated because it's it's hard to explain what it's about, but all I know it's about like a young girl who's a new student and is a boy, and let's just say they weren't friends at first. I mean, because the boy named Jess, and he wasn't too keen on her at the first moment he met her, but sometimes near somewhat half of the film, they both become friends. But sadly, I don't want this to spoil for you guys in case you haven't seen it. But if those who have seen it, you probably know what I'm gonna say. So it's quite sad, isn't it? So I'd rather keep it to myself anyway, because I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. Yeah, tell me about it. But I just feel sorry for Jess, you know? So like I said, yeah. But don't get me wrong, it is quite emotional and it's quite good. And there are also a few good moments in it. So yeah. Anyway, um, and I also seem to like this other film that almost everyone seems to remember the most. Well, just say most of us from the early 2000s, I would say, are able to remember this film, Enchanted. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. I know I'm not the only one who remembers it. I know you guys do. And let's just say, if you remember the sequel to it that only just came out like last year, yeah, well, to tell the truth, it is alright, the sequel, but for me personally, it's not the same as the original film. So I will stick with the original film, that just came out in 2007. So yeah, I just love Enchanted, especially all the songs, the characters, the story itself. Oh my god. And there are some few actors that we are familiar with. And did you know the actress who did Ariel from the original Little Mermaid, Jodie Benson? Well, she is in it. And you know, the actress who did Elsa from Frozen? Well, she's in it too, playing Nancy. And I know you guys will probably like, oh my god, I did not know that. And don't possibly blame you. So yeah, I thought I'd mention it because I know you will have your mouth open, like wide open. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. And I know how you feel when it comes to some actors that we're all familiar with from different movies, and we were like, oh my god, woo, oh my god, something like that. Yeah, I like Wally. Wally's is my favorite. But did you guys know that Wally is actually based somewhere in the future? Like, probably over there, like 1000 years in the future. I would imagine that. No way. And I bet you guys would agree with me for that point. So, wink on that, guys. And here is one of my favorites, Tinkerbell. And let's just say, Tinkerbell is just one of those things I usually prefer over than Peter Pan, like I did mention before. And I hope you guys can understand that I'm more into fairies sort of thing because it's quite well, it's hard for me to explain for this one because I just don't want you guys to feel like that I'm offending you or anything. I just want you guys to understand. So don't feel so defensive about Peter Pan or that, okay? Because I know some people probably might have a go at me just because I said I prefer Tinkerbell over Peter Pan, but I just don't know what the big deal is. So anyway, I just love Tinkerbell because I just love the movie, and not just the only one movie, of course. I like every Tinkerbell movies. You know, The Lost Treasure, the fairy, the Great Fairy Rescue, that's it, and The Secret of Wings, um, the Pirate Fairy, and the very last one, The Legend of Neverbeast. Both is just one of those things that I would definitely gonna keep watching forever. So believe me, guys, I just love both. I've never stopped watching it because it's just so emotional somehow. And let's just say every few moments when there's like happy music or sad music or a bit of mix between together or sort of or something like that, it just makes me feel like I want to cry, you know? But I know you guys will probably think I'm being silly, but that's just the way I am. You can't possibly blame me. Yeah, I know. But just the same. And yes, I do love both no matter how old I get. It's, it's just one of those Disney movies I would definitely love forever. Like The Little Mermaid, for example, or Leader on Stitch and some others. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. And I like both. He's cute, especially when he's a puppy. Oh, he's a cute little cuddly bear. Well, doggy. Yeah, tell me about it, guys, because I just love it. And I also like how Bolt thought he was trying to save Penny from being kidnapped, even though she wasn't, because we all know that, because some of us obviously already have seen the film anyway. Yeah. And at the end, I always find it like a bit emotional, like happy and sad all at the same time. After when Bolt and Penny escape from the fire. Yeah, tell me about it. And then Penny ended up going to the hospital. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. That always brings me to tears every time, especially since I was a kid when I first saw it back in 2008. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. I just really love the film so much. Like, I would never forget it. Okay, and it's up. Oh my god. The beginning of the film is really like sort of like a mix of happy and sad at the same time. Yeah, until the movie starts to play. Because let's just say I feel sorry for Carl for losing Ellie. Yeah, tell me about it. It is, let's just say it is a love story as it's an adventure sort of story as it is. Yeah. And I do love The Princess and the Frog. Yeah, I have to be honest, it is quite good. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a few things I did got speak when I was a kid. Those shadows creatures who works for this villain. To give me goosebumps. Like, ooh, I'm spooky ghost. Something like that. Tell me about it. Boy, okay. And having a story about a princess being turned into a frog, that's quite a bit of a twist. Because when I was a kid, I was like, okay, that's not what I expected. Like, really. I mean, it's interesting to the story, but that's just Disney for you. And I like Tangled. Tangled is one of my favorites, to be honest. I love Tangled. But I'll just say, it did came out on my birthday back in 2010. I was really lucky and special for it. And of course, Rapunzel is one of my favorite princesses, along with Ariel and Aurora. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. And I do like Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, I like Wreck-It Ralph. Although I may not be a huge fan of video games and all such, but maybe I can like them from time to time. But that doesn't mean I have to be a fan of them, in case you guys are wondering. But Wreck-It Ralph made me realize that playing games is not always that bad. So, besides, like I said, I sometimes I do like playing games, and sometimes I just not usually play games anyway because I'm more into other things. And there's Brave. Yeah, you got to love Brave, guys, because being brave is important. Because don't be afraid, guys. I mean, if you're scared of things, try, prove yourself to be confident. Just keep saying to yourself by doing like this. Okay, keep it together. Keep it together. Be brave. Be confident. Be strong, and never give up. You say that. So that's my advice for you guys. Because no matter what it is that you're scared of, always try to use your confidence. Yep. Because that's the only way to stop being brave and to let go of your fears. Yeah. I should do that more often too. Yeah, tell me that. Okay. Whew. Okay, and I also have seen Monster University, even though it's slightly a sequel to the original Monster Inc., but it's more different compared to the Monster Inc. that we all know and love. But it's only because it's based sometimes in the past before how did Sully and Mike become friends. Stuff like that. And how does the whole story begin and all time. Something like that. Frozen is also one of my favorites. Well, yeah. It's only because, let's just say it's probably because I just like the story. I like how Elsa and Anna's relationship was like during the film. Like when they were kids, they always like have fun together and all that until like after this one time when Elsa accidentally hits Anna with her magic or something, and then the king and queen has to go to see the trolls to see is there any cure to help, and it's true love that can help Anna. And we all know who is Anna's true love is. Kristoff. Yeah. Well, let's just say, but that's the whole point because Elsa's is also Anna's true love because they both love each other. And I know some of you may find it kind of weird, but it is true. So don't deny it, okay? Thank you. For my own personal opinion, Frozen is not as bad as you think. I just think you are jumping to conclusions by saying it. But whatever reason it is, it's totally fine for not liking Frozen, whatever which reason you have. But sometimes if you don't have a reason, then then what's the point of not liking it if you don't have a reason for it? So maybe I recommend you to watch it again and see what you like about it in the comments. And of course, I'm not really much a fan of Big Hero 6. It's only because it's not something that I would not gonna like. And I'm not gonna share my reason in case you guys may worried. So yeah. So anyway, it's only because I'm more to verticals than to Big Hero 6, if I have to be honest with you guys. Yeah, tell me about it. Inside Out is definitely one of those things that some of us may find it confusing because I would imagine all of us people with those creatures in our brains controlling our emotions of all kinds. I mean, seriously, what do you guys imagine that? I mean, well, no, I don't think so. Because for me personally, I'd rather not get too, whoa, you know what? Because I just find it creepy, weird, all at the same time. Everybody, guys. And I have seen all the Descendants movies. Yes, of course, I have seen them. They're actually quite good. And I know some people may not like them, but I recommend you to have a go and watch them. Because sometimes I think some of those who seem to judge it too soon and quick because they think it's sort of something to do with being bad is not a good thing. But sometimes it can be a good thing sometimes because sometimes it can be personality. Well, sometimes not always. That's the whole thing. So, like I said, I suggest you try have to go watch them because you never know. You're missing the fun. Yeah, but I'm not forcing anything, but it's just as a suggestion, okay? So don't get too worried. Okay, and there's Finding Dory. It's like a sequel to Finding Nemo, but it's slightly different to what the original film was like because it's actually about Dory finding her parents. Yeah, I kind of find that film so adorable and cute. And it is quite emotional as well. I mean, being lost and then got separated by your own family. Well, especially your parents. I mean, I wouldn't want to mention that. Because, like I said, feel sorry for Dory. But luckily, she and her parents were reunited once again at sometimes near half of the film. Okay, and there's Coco. It's about like life and death, but I don't want to talk about that one because it's something that I'm not comfortable talking about here. And there's And of course, I also love Zootopia, or Zootropolis that I should be calling it really, because that's just the title in the UK for a strange reason. So yeah. So anyway, I just love Zootropia. Yeah, because it's just one of these things that I like about animals really. Learning about the animals, what they do in their personal lives, you know? And about a bunny, what's her name again? Judy, I think. It's been a long time, but I know her name. Sometimes I just keep getting, whether. But I'm just saying, what, what, I kind of like the story about how she wants to become a policewoman. Yeah, I think it's kind of cute. I mean, I don't know why some of the other characters from the film seems to find it okay to judge her just because she wants to be the policewoman. I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, you know? And of course, I also like Moana. Yeah, tell me about it, guys. I love Moana. It nearly reminds me with the Little Mermaid, but it's quite the opposite. If you get what I'm trying to say here, because Moana just likes, well, she just has her heart for the ocean now, and to save the springy heart for Tafiti, yeah, something like that. That Moabi stole the heart from her. I mean, mm, well, sometimes he may be a jerk for doing so, but sometimes we have to understand his part of the story, And there's Onward. Let's just say it's about those two boys, but I forgot their names again. But I know it's about those two boys trying to bring their father back. Yeah, I know you shouldn't really bring someone back to life just because you miss them so much. You should always respect that and accept that your your parents are no longer here, no matter who is that you lost. Always accept that they're no longer around here, but they're still around you. I mean, they're watching you through heaven. So no matter how much you care about them or love them, don't force yourself to bring them back because that is not right. So let's let just let your parents or whoever you know as part of your family to have peace in heaven. Yeah. Oh, and that's kind of sort of like this is sort of reminds me with another film that comes after that film and it's called Soul. And I kind of like it, but there's a few things that can be quite confusing for me to talk about. So yeah, I'd rather skip that one because it's just too confusing. And it's the lead car. Oh boy. Okay. And it's turning red. Yeah. It's nearly reminds me with Milan. Yeah. And Lightyear. Nah. Well, tell me about it. But I know some of you may like Lightyear film, but for me, I haven't seen it, but I'd rather not watch it because it's not the same as Toy Story. But my best friend Sophie have seen it, so you are allowed to tell me all about it when you feel to. Strange World? Well, I have seen it with my dad, but I had to say, not really much a fan of it. It just really confusing while when I watched it for the first time. But yeah, can't really blame me for that. Okay, and it's Elemental. Yeah, I love that film. I went to see it with my dad not too long ago. Probably like a few weeks ago, I think. Yeah, I can't exactly remember how long it was that I saw it this year. So yeah. So anyway, guys, I'll leave you guys to it. And if you wanted to share your thoughts on which Disney movies that you like or dislike, or sort of mix between like or dislike, whatever. So yeah. So if you wanted to ask questions of why I don't like some of them, I can always just share in the comments if you want to ask me in case. So yeah. So even I already mentioned a few times in the videos that I'm not really a fan of. Yeah. So anyway, I leave you guys to it, and I hope you have a great holiday and a great summer. Yeah, I just love Disney as much as you guys do. So yeah, bye everyone.